Hi folks, welcome to this critique. It was the week that we did the acrylic snowy tracks. I think we entitled the lesson. We have four participants, and we're starting with Bob's work here. And good shapes, Bob. Just looking at the overall sort of pattern and movement here. It's nice, sort of get taken along through here. Stops a bit there. That perhaps we could lose that or make it a little thinner, a little lighter. Just sort of stops. We want to move into there, around that corner, but that rather dark shape across the path. I think there is one on my original painting, but you've got to be careful not to overdo it. It's a bit heavy, that's all. No big, I mean, so easily put right. So that's just my thoughts at the moment, Bob. It's just you know, if you want to stop the movement of something, go across it at right angles like this. So yeah, just bear that in mind a bit. Good shapes, good sense of depth in that background there. Posts could be a little bit bigger. Probably not quite enough. There's probably not quite enough gradient in the scale of these posts. This nearer one probably needs to be a bit bigger, about there, something like that. That one's about right. I think the others are mostly right. It's really just that one in the front there. But I like the overall shapes in this. Do try and get. I think I remember mentioning on the day that the brushwork, you got to get a feel for the overall vertical brushwork in to tell people that this isn't just an abstract green shape, and that it is actually supposed to represent you know, trees, small trees type thing. Then do make sure you put plenty of vertical brushwork in these areas. And because if you think about it, everything else is quite horizontal. Yeah, you get a nice sense that this is horizontal. So just give us some vertical by juxtaposition. But nice. I like the overall look at it of this, Bob. Certainly get the message as to what we're looking at. And yeah, just bear in mind that, you know, the brushwork, directional brushwork, more than anything. Yeah, good work. Well done, Bob. Let's move on to Christine's. I like the way that we can still see the original color glimmering through here. You know, that undercoat of burnt sienna. It's nice. That really does lift it, as though there's some warm sunshine getting through from somewhere. Good shapes, a nice clear walk through. Again, I think the green areas probably look more like grassy verges than they do trees. There's a sense that the green areas are low-lying. Certainly there's a post there. Certainly all the green areas seem to be, there is a bit of that, of course, intended in the painting, but I think probably what's missing more than anything else is a sense that back here there should be some vertical trees and bushes. We've got a very close up of one small area. That's what it is. I think by about here in my original demonstration, we started scaling things right down so that the path was only about that narrow back there. So think about that. Give that some thought, Chris. You know, if it was deliberate, then you know, fine. And you know, we can chat about that. Just have a think about scale and dimension and creating depth. Okay, so on now to our next one, which is Denise's work. Wow, this is fantastic. I love the look of this. Don't know how you've done this, Denise, but whatever technique you've used in this snow, it's extremely convincing. This snowy area in the immediate foreground here really suggests hard snow that may have been lying for some days, and you know, overnight it's hardened up. This is a really good job. And this is proof of, you know, that by going in here at the back with these verticals, we get a sense that that's not grass. We can see the height of anything growing low level. It's here. It's made quite clear, this fairly close area to us, that's the height of grasses. So that's not grasses back there. We can see there it's a much taller, bolder taller, higher object. So you get a really good sense, and of course how that path diminishes also helps. As it diminishes back there, really helps to convey that distance, that sense of distance. You know, from down here to about here, we're looking at perhaps 5 to 10 yards. If you go a little bit further, you can add another 10-15 yards on there. By the time we've got right at the back there where the path disappears, you're possibly 200 yards away, and that's good up there too. That sort of conveys the same message up there on the left. It's very good, Denise. Really like this. Let's get rid of my ink a minute. Yeah, whatever technique you used on that snow, it really works a treat. And it's a pleasure to look at. This is how you'd expect to see the edges of snow, you know, as it meets grasses and things lying on the ground. Nice and broken, as though the snow itself is just sort of finding its way through the greenery. Excellent job, Denise. Excellent job. There's Ron up next. I think this is probably the last one. This is great. Lovely textural paper that we used. I think this is like a handmade rag paper. And again, there's a good sense here of the type of textures that you'd expect to find. Just grab a pen here. Nice textures in here. And again, we can see this quite clearly. These are large objects. They're whatever, hazel bushes, hawthorn bushes. It's quite clear as to what they are and how different they are compared to the scale of things that lie at our feet down here. Things that we could actually step on. You know, these are just low-lying shapes, whereas, you know, there's no way you would step on anything up here because it's possibly 15-20 feet high. And that's all to do, again, as I say, with the type of brush mark, particularly the direction of your brush mark, that conveys that sense. So again, I would say, you know, looking at the distances down here, at right in front of us under our feet here, starting there. If you're going to about here, you're probably looking at 5-10 yards away. Size of that post there, you're probably up to another 5-10 yards away. And by the time you get beyond and into this new little field back there, you're again a good 50+ yards away from where we stood. And of course back there could be, that could be a 500 yards away, maybe more, 1,000 yards away back over here in the left. A good sense of depth. Nice textures, beautiful textures. Again, we get the glimmer of some warm areas. So whatever little bit of warmth sunlight is coming through is just warming the ground in places. Just one little thing, and it is a small thing. I would probably close, just taking a dark coloured ink a minute, I would probably close that off a bit more, just so we get a sense that the movement here is sort of doing this sort of thing and going back over there, you know, something like that. We don't worry about this quite so much because this was just like a secondary point of interest. But that's good. That's good. I really like that one. It's great. Lovely textures. Very convincing. Good cold, wintry, snowy scene. Well, that brings us to the end of this critique, folks. As I said, there wasn't many of us, but those of us that did submit, I think have done a grand job, and we're all grateful to you. And we'll be able to look at these and take in some of the points that have been raised and move on and progress even further. So I look forward to seeing you at the next crit, folks. Bye for now.